Hey guys, thanks for watching. My name is Michael Mandela, owner of North Country Survival Gear. Today we're going to be going over the tips and tricks on how to start a survival fire. And we've chosen a location back behind me here. And there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind when you choose a location to create a fire, especially if you're camping overnight in that particular location. You're always going to want to look above you when you create a campsite. So you're going to want to make sure that there's nothing, no dead trees or limbs or anything that hang over your campsite, because that's definitely, they actually call them widowmakers, and they're called that for a reason. A gust of wind that picks up in the middle of the night, or rain, knocks that limb down, and it just can definitely kill somebody. So you want to always look above you, don't look just around you. And then also, what we do is we're going to pick a site that in the proximity, a nearby proximity, has a lot of fuel that we can use for our fire. So in this particular case, in the back over here, there's a lot of downed trees, and it looks like they're very, very dry, so we're very fortunate there. But today what we're going to be focusing on is actually starting the fire using every one of our solo and family survival kits include the magnesium block and flint. So how this works basically is this is a 3-inch by 1-inch magnesium block that has a flint rod down the center of it. So, and a serrated kind of tool that goes with it. What you're going to do is and I'm going to go over this of course, but you're going to shave off that magnesium into a small pile of your tinder, and then you're going to spark it going like this right into that tinder, and then that tinder is going to ignite, and you just keep slowly adding kindling to that fire, so it just keeps growing and growing until it's controlled and it's on its own. So we're going to clear out the site. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on that, and then we'll get started. So, okay, so as you can see behind me here, we've cleared out the area. Again, I actually cleared out a little bit more since we just cut from the last little take there, but it's about 6 feet in perimeter. Just cleared all that stuff away. Now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you how we're going to collect some fuel and making sure we get dry stuff. But each one of our survival kits includes a hatchet, and this is actually an awesome hatchet that I've been using for years. It's a solid piece of steel forged entirely with a genuine leather grip that's actually laminated and coated over it. So it's a very solid hatchet. So there's that. Now, another thing to notice is that when you are going to receive this hatchet, it's going to be dull. It's actually just comes I guess shipped that way for safety reasons. But what we did was, inside of your survival kit also includes our Leatherman Super Tool 300, which inside of this is actually a file that we're going to show you right now how I can quickly sharpen this hatchet so that it's actually able to cut through some pretty solid stuff. All right, guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to sharpen up this hatchet. So follow me on over here and we'll get going with this. We're just going to use that built-in file that comes with this Leatherman. And we're just going to put a nice sharp edge right across both sides of this hatchet. Okay, do the other side. Do it again on this side. Okay. Pretty good right there. Just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to show you we're going to take some fuel down off some trees here in this area. We're actually standing next to one. This happens to be a little wetter than I'd like, but we're going to find it. Okay guys, so now we came to a nearby downed tree. This stuff is actually really, really dry. So this is the stuff that we're really, really looking for to get our fire going. So first what I'm going to do is naturally just kind of snap some of this stuff off and collect it. Just kind of put it down on the side here. Working my way to some larger stuff as well. One of the things that I've learned is that when you make a fire, especially again if you're making one through the night, that you're going to want to be able to have a lot of wood. You can never have enough wood. So you're going to want to make sure that you really bring a lot of stuff with you, so that not only can you keep the fire going in the beginning, but you can maintain it through the night. We've got a good pile of wood here to get things going at least. Got some different size stuff here. I was focusing actually on some larger stuff now, so now I'm going to focus on getting some smaller stuff, really to get that small kindling to really dried out stuff to get this fire going. This stuff is a little bit thicker. It's probably a good 3 to 4 inches in diameter. This stuff will be good to keep that fire going through the night. We're going to need a lot more than this, but for the sake of this video, we're going to focus on actually starting the fire and getting it going to a mature state where it stays that way and we can control it. Okay guys, so one of the things I just wanted to explain is whenever you are in a survival situation, and you always want to keep your eyes peeled for dry tinder. And one of the best things to use that takes a spark very, very nicely is a birch tree, the bark of a birch tree. So this happens to be a birch tree, and it is dying. So very gently I'm going to come in, I'm just going to peel this stuff off here. And this stuff is so dry, okay, listen. See this stuff? It is completely dry stuff, and it absolutely works fantastic. We're actually going to use this in a little bit to start our fire. Another thing I wanted to tell you is be careful if you can grab birch bark from a tree. A dead tree is best. Don't grab it from this stuff right here that's down, because this actually is wet stuff. This will take a spark, but it's just a little bit too damp. You're going to struggle with that when you can just grab a nice stuff right here. I mean, this stuff is absolutely fantastic. So now that we have our birch bark, this stuff is unbelievable, and it's fantastic to start a survival fire, really as your tinder. So we're going to use this first, and then what we've done is I've collected some different size kindling, starting off with small, really medium, and then larger pieces here. And what this is really used for is we're going to ignite this. We're going to get this going really good. And then as this goes, we're going to keep adding into the fire the kindling here and basically feed it. A fire needs really two things, oxygen and fuel. And if you think of it like this, it needs 50% fuel, 50% oxygen, just for an easy analogy. You don't want to put too much oxygen into the fire, meaning if it's windy, you want to control that barrier off as much as you can, protect the fire from too much wind or oxygen coming into it. And fuel, likewise, you do not want to snuff a fire out by adding too much fuel at one time. So start off small and then slowly add different size diameter kindling to that fire until it's mature enough to add bigger stuff into it. Once you have a bigger fire, and when I say bigger, I mean a nice contained fire going, you can start adding some bigger chunk wood that's dry, of course, to that to keep it going and maintain that through the night. What I've done is you can see that I've taken some larger wood here and I've cross-patterned it. And the reason why I did that is I wanted to get our fire up off the wet ground. So this is a great starting area. The wind, if you can see here, there's enough space that goes down as well as this way. So oxygen's really going to be able to get underneath that fire and keep that fire nice and hot and burning. So what we're going to do now, I did want to mention too, is whenever you're in a survival situation, you're always going to want to keep your eyes out for dry tinder. Wherever you are, as often as you can, you want to collect things that are dry, and throughout the entire day, a really cool trick to keep it dry or dried out more is actually stuff it inside of your shirt. And you want to make sure that you have it layered so it's not pressed up against your skin. There's a couple reasons for that. A, it's going to irritate you, but it's also your body sweat's going to get onto it if it's touching your skin, so it's kind of counterproductive. But this stuff is actually what we collected on the way in an open field. So this is just dry grass. I have no idea what it is, but I call this stuff a bird's nest. And what I did was I took it and you just tie it into a knot. Not too tight, because again, you don't want to get air through that. All right, so again, what I'm doing at this point is I'm taking this birch bark and I'm just kind of piling it right into this bird's nest. Again, enough for it to just ignite. That's all we're looking for at this point. And nearby behind me here in this area is our smaller, medium, and large size kindling. So it's nearby, it's ready to go. So once we get a spark, we're going to just keep feeding it and we'll be good. We are ready to go here. What we're going to do is we're going to use the magnesium block now. We're going to shave off using the serrated tool or the knife that comes with the Leatherman in all of our survival kits. We're going to shave off a good sized pile of this magnesium right into the bird's nest and birch bark. And then once we get a good solid pile of magnesium, we're going to flip this over and we're going to use the flint to actually spark it and catch this thing on fire. Once it catches on fire, we're going to quickly but methodically add fuel to it, being easy that we don't snuff that fire out, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so we're piling up this magnesium just right down there. It's falling right into the bird's nest, right where we want it to go. We're not going to be concerned about how much we use here. We're going to get enough of it in there because it's easier to have more of this inside of this bird's nest in order to get a spark. So you're going to be very generous with these portions of magnesium. Okay, so if you look, I don't know if you can tell, but it's just slivers of silver down here. Okay, so now we're going to flip over the magnesium block, and this is the flint rod here, and here's the serrated tool, and we're just going to spark it. Okay, so now that we got this good, that birch bark's lit right up, along with that dry straw, so we're going to just slowly add some of this without snuffing it out. Keep that oxygen going into it. See how it snuffs out, so just blow a little bit. It'll catch back up. Blow very gently. Let the fire do its job. Slowly adding to it. Okay, we're going to switch to the medium-sized logs at this point. We're going to kind of just make a teepee. We're going to get this just kind of standing it up. Get it right in there. All sides. Again, you're going to want to just keep oxygen flowing into this thing. We're going to let that do its thing. Put a couple on this side here. Very, very healthy fire at this point. We know what we've done at this point is we've sparked that magnesium with the flint. We made sure that we had really dry material as that tinder. It sparked right up. We slowly added stuff to it. You saw in that video where I snuffed out. I put a little bit too much into it, and it actually snuffed out the fire a little bit, so you've got to back off. Don't be afraid to pull some of your material out if you start to see that the fire's dying down. So you can do that. Just at this point, you're just going to keep this stuff going. I can already tell that the dry twigs down at the bottom are nice and strong heat is going on there. So really at this point, we're just going to keep adding material to it to the point where the stuff that we chopped down off of that down tree, the big 3-4 inch diameter stuff, and a little bit, it's not ready yet for this. We'll get to that. We're going to build this up so that we'll be able to just add that material to it, because at this point it is a youthful fire. Okay guys, so as you can see, our fire is going really good here. It's at the point where it's mature, and all we need to do is start adding larger logs to it. This is the stuff that we took down from that down tree just ahead of that hill there. So at this point, this fire, we've got it. Maintain the fire through the night with this type of material, and you're good to go. As always, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Visit us at ncsgear.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Thanks for watching.